From owners who turned their restaurants into personal battlegrounds,
Sammy, do you understand? You serve out, you motherfucker!
To family feuds that destroyed million-dollar businesses,
I kind of forced him into it by taking his money.
here's what happened to the restaurants Gordon Ramsay couldn't save, starting with Amy's Baking Company. Located in Scottsdale, Arizona, the restaurant was owned by husband and wife Amy and Sammy Bisgallo. But from the moment Gordon arrived, it was clear Amy's temper was a ticking time bomb, and her husband Sammy wasn't any better, as he was immediately caught lying about making their pasta and desserts in-house.
It has to be one of the most confused ravioli dishes I've ever seen and tasted in my entire life. Wow. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense, huh?
Sweet and spicy.
Yeah.
Ravioli with bacon and sweet corn, topped with cilantro. Are these store-bought?
Yes, the ravioli, yes.
He told me that this
Yes.
was store-bought, then I wouldn't have ordered it.
But the real chaos began during the first dinner service, where Amy's narcissism was on full display as she blamed everyone but herself.
she is quitting. She has an attitude. She comes to the kitchen tonight. She's like, I set a table. She said, are you sure? Are you my boss?
It's okay, Kitty, please. Go on. No, come on.
She doesn't work here anymore. She's a poisonous little viper, and I don't allow people that have an attitude in my restaurant. What does she know? Who the hell is she? She is gone. That's who she is.
It had only escalated from there, with Sammy getting into a physical altercation with a customer.
Yeah, you have a pizza, it's coming. You want to wait, you wait. You don't want to pay what did you have and you f up from here. Do you understand?
Sammy?
Do you understand? You serve out, you motherfucker!
Their restaurant was beyond help, as both owners refused to take any ounce of accountability, leading to Gordon Ramsay walking out for the first time ever. After the episode aired, instead of reflecting, Amy and Sammy went on a social media meltdown and threatened customers online.
This is Sammy. I'm keeping note of all names here. We'll be pursuing action against you legally and against Reddit and Yelp. For this plot, you've come together. You're all punks. You people are shit. Come here. I'll fucking show you all.
Their replies became a viral sensation, sparking international headlines. While social media was flooded with memes of Amy and Sammy, they went on and posted dozens of aggressive responses before later claiming they were hacked. The situation took a turn for the worse when it was revealed that Sammy faced deportation because of his extensive criminal background, including being banned from France and Germany. Eventually, the bakery was closed in 2015 after its owners found a new buyer for the business, but by then, the damage was irreversible. Amy and Sammy Bisgallo eventually sold the restaurant and relocated to Israel when Sammy was deported. However, their troubled relationship couldn't survive the ordeal as Amy filed for divorce in 2022. Things got even worse between them as Sammy posted a Photoshop slide of Amy on Vogue with a rant that read, "It's the same girl Amy from Amy's Baking Company. She wants to be a fake model like her pastries." But Amy, on the other hand, continues to post baked goods on her Instagram. What started as a simple restaurant makeover soon turned into a public disaster and a target of mockery. While Amy's Baking Company collapsed under ego and delusion, Burger Kitchen's destruction came from a more heartbreaking source, with a family torn apart by greed, lies, and decades of dysfunction that no amount of culinary expertise could repair. Alan Saffron was an Australian immigrant who opened Burger Kitchen back in 2010. He was confident that his knowledge of meat would allow him to create top-notch burgers, claiming to be a meat sculptor. But what Gordon discovered was a family business built on betrayal and financial manipulation that would shock even seasoned viewers. The restaurant's foundation was rotten from the start because Alan had stolen $250,000 from his son Daniel's inheritance without permission to fund the business.
What?
I kind of forced him into it by taking his money.
Creating a toxic dynamic where the son worked for a father who had essentially robbed him of his future. Alan's delusions of grandeur extended beyond his questionable business practices as he constantly name-dropped celebrities who allegedly loved his food, yet could never provide a single verifiable example. The family dysfunction reached its peak when Alan's paranoia consumed him, as he became convinced that negative Yelp reviews were part of a conspiracy against his restaurant, while his, unlike the explosive family drama drama on Burger Kitchen, the Black Pearl's downfall came from a different kind of toxicity. 3 business partners whose egos and incompetence created a perfect storm of failure that would make them Kitchen Nightmare's most ungrateful villains.
It became very frustrating around here. Brian and Greg and I stopped speaking. We would try to communicate via email, text messaging, and everybody got nervous and frustrated.
This place is a nightmare for the lack of management.
The owners, David, Brian, and Greg, were constantly at each other's throats, arguing over every decision and creating a toxic, confusing environment for the staff. Gordon's assessment of the trio was brutally accurate, dubbing them sleepy, dopey, and grumpy, as their complete lack of leadership and accountability had driven the restaurant into the ground. Gordon even worked tirelessly to restructure the restaurant's operations and improve the menu, but the owners' resistance to change and their inability to work as a cohesive team made progress nearly impossible. Many of the viewers criticized David for everything, with comments saying, "David was toxic. If you don't get rid of toxicity, it's game over. David's acting like a 5-year-old all episode." The most shocking betrayal came just 4 days after the episode aired, when the restaurant permanently closed and the owners immediately unleashed the barrage of insults directed at Gordon, publicly blaming him for their catastrophic failure and claiming his changes were the direct cause of a 50% drop in revenue that led to the closure. Their complete lack of accountability and willingness to blame Gordon for their own failures made the Black Pearl one of the most frustrating cases in Kitchen Nightmare's history. While the Black Pearl's owners lacked passion, others suffered from ignoring every single piece of advice they were given. In Season 6, Episode 15, Gordon met Chappie, the owner of Chappies in New Orleans, a man stubbornly set in his ways. The place was filthy, with a walk-in fridge that became one of the most disgusting in the show's history.
Sell by 27th of February 2010. Expired 3 years ago.
Raw beef and cooked beef. I cannot believe what I'm seeing.
Shrimp. They're stuck there. Sat. Absolutely stinking.
Despite all this, Chappie's arrogance became clear from the very first moment, as he immediately dismissed Gordon's observations about the restaurant's many problems, choosing instead to insist that his own flawed vision was correct despite all the mounting evidence staring him right in the face.
Have you any idea how long a shrimp needs to stay inside the fridge to get that much mold on there?
I don't know what it is, where it was.
All night you're just deflecting.
This created a toxic dynamic where expert advice was repeatedly ignored in favor of nothing more than stubborn pride and a refusal to admit he was wrong. The restaurant suffered from fundamental, basic operational issues that any owner should have spotted, including poor food quality. And to quote, "The menu was also confusing. The waiting staff were ordered to recite 15 or 16 entries that weren't listed. The prices of the food increased more than 3 times in the evening as well." Gordon addressed these problems with specific, actionable solutions that Chappie promptly disregarded.
How are you?
I'm okay. Everybody seemed to love everything, but I just have a hard time with it. I still think my food's great.
And so, just as quickly as Gordon left, the old ways came back. Within months, Chappies on Church collapsed. In June 2013, the Tennessee Department of Revenue seized the property for non-payment of taxes, padlocking the doors and ending the restaurant for good. Chappie, of course, blamed Gordon Ramsay, claiming the show had destroyed his business. The truth was obvious that the downfall had nothing to do with Gordon, but with an owner who refused to listen. If Chappies failed due to stubborn pride, Fiesta Sunrise collapsed under the weight of something far more disturbing. A web of lies, financial manipulation, and dangerous negligence that created one of the most shocking episodes in Kitchen Nightmare's history. The restaurant was supposedly owned by Vic Flores, but Gordon's investigation revealed a much darker truth about the restaurant's ownership and operations, involving financial schemes that left multiple people devastated and in debt. However, the restaurant's problems went far beyond typical operational issues, as Gordon discovered that the kitchen was storing food in dangerous conditions, creating serious health risks for customers.
Oh shit! What's that?
The paint.
Oh, how? It's like a cement mixer.
Are you fucking stupid?
However, the most disturbing revelation came when Gordon learned about the restaurant's true ownership structure and the financial manipulation that trapped Patty, his stepdaughter, in overwhelming debt, as Vic had used her credit and financial standing to fund his failing business ventures. Despite all this, Gordon tried to save Fiesta Sunrise by bringing in top Mexican chef Julieta Ballesteros, completely redesigning the menu and giving the restaurant a full makeover. The relaunch initially seemed successful, with even the local mayor praising the food. However, unfortunately, it was too late, because by September 2008, before the episode even aired, the IRS had seized the restaurant for failing to pay taxes. Fiesta Sunrise's closure was just a matter of time, because it was built on a foundation of lies that made legitimate business operations impossible, leaving multiple victims in its wake. While Fiesta Sunrise's downfall was rooted in exploitation, Capri's story was both tragic and absurd at the same time. Season 5's Capri was run by identical twins Jim and Jeff, who bought the restaurant simply because they were regulars and liked the idea of free pizza. However, when Gordon finally inspected the kitchen, he uncovered a new low in filth. With a prep area coated in grease, rotten chicken, and a walk-in fridge filled with moldy food, the restaurant was in a disgusting state. And for over 8 years after the episode aired on TV. However, that did not last long, as by 2019, Capri finally closed its doors because of declining sales and health issues for the owner. While previous cases involved restaurants that failed due to dysfunction, Kindred's problems were similar but had their own unique twists. It was a new, modern vegan restaurant in New Orleans that failed at the very core of what makes a restaurant survive: good food, clean operations, and respect for the customer.
Where the only thing worse than the food...
You want to try mine again? No, it's too greasy.
...is the attitude of kitchen manager, Frank.
From the moment Gordon Ramsay stepped inside, the problems were glaring. The kitchen was filthy and cluttered with junk. It looked like a hoarder's storage space rather than a professional cooking environment. But the worst of all was, Gordon found rat droppings inside the restaurant and spoiled ingredients hidden in the back.
What is this? Stop. Just stop for 2 seconds. Holy
I know, it's rat feces. I clean it every week. You know.
And as if that wasn't enough, the supposedly innovative vegan dishes turned out to be disappointing as well.
Holly.
Yes.
Is that plastic avocado? Is that out of a bag?
The guacamole is not fresh, I'm sorry.
Why would you buy avocado in bags if you've got fresh avocados?
Customers were unimpressed, and Gordon himself was left speechless at just how bad the execution really was.
When was the cheese sauce made?
Yesterday?
Right. That absolutely stinks. It just tastes like the chef's given up.
But what made the situation unbearable was the attitude in the kitchen, with the manager, Frank, being arrogantly lazy, refusing to cook properly.
What was the idea behind store-bought avocado puree?
There's literally no time to do extra prep for stuff that you're going to be throwing away.
How long does it take to make a fresh guacamole?
Never made it in my life.
What?
It would be great to come in and make everything from scratch. But the lack of time, it's challenging.
It's destroying any little business we have.
His smug dismissal of Gordon's advice created a toxic clash, with Gordon being so appalled that he actually walked out of the restaurant, threatening to abandon the rescue altogether.
We can't even constructively tell him anything because he doesn't want to listen.
It hasn't been like this always.
I'm not too sure if I can help anyone that far gone in denial. You're on your own.
However, Ramsay returned after the owner begged him to do so, and once the manager was fired, Gordon deep-cleaned the restaurant, called in exterminators, revamped the menu with fresh vegan dishes, and even installed a small vegetable garden. For a brief moment, it looked like Kindred might finally live up to its promise, but the damage was already done. The restaurant had burned through its chances and had no stability to stand on. Despite Gordon's efforts, Kindred shut its doors for good on December 28, 2024, just 3 months after filming and before the episode even aired. While every previous case involved restaurants that failed due to owner dysfunction, family conflicts, or misguided concepts, Sushiko's story was different. Sushiko, in Thousand Oaks, California, is where once proud chef Akira Hatai had watched his dream restaurant slowly die. As the former owner of a successful Bel Air location, Akira had everything going for him until he decided to relocate to Thousand Oaks with his wife Lisa, hoping for a fresh start. But what should have been their their American dream quickly became their worst nightmare as the restaurant struggled to attract customers in its new location and was losing money and in debt. When Gordon first walked through the doors, he found a restaurant that was practically empty, with Akira having completely given up on his business, spending most of his time sitting in the back office while Lisa desperately tried to keep things running. Their situation was even worse as their marriage was falling apart as badly as the business, with Lisa feeling abandoned while Akira had shut down emotionally, refusing to engage with his wife or even his children. Looking at the reality of the restaurant's operation, Gordon made changes to the menu, retrained staff, and undertook a complete restaurant makeover. With that, things seemed to be looking up. Akira and Lisa appeared to reconnect, and the restaurant was getting a fresh new look that Gordon hoped would bring in customers. But the transformation was nothing more than a temporary band-aid on much deeper problems, because just a few months after filming Wrapped in May 2009, Sushi Co. didn't even make it 5 months afterwards until it was closed, shutting its doors in August of that year. Akira's son, Sammy, posted about what happened to the restaurant. Somehow business got worse after we filmed it, and the center seemed more deserted than it has ever been, proving that even Gordon's expertise couldn't overcome the fundamental issues that had been affecting the business from the start.